Hey everyone, this is Chef. Today we're going to talk about the upcoming changes to Support Firebrand in the November 29th balance patch. If you haven't been following patch notes, streams, or other discussions about this, Firebrand is going to be receiving a substantial rework to its unique profession mechanic, its tomes. This is a really big change, and is going to fundamentally rework the way that Support Firebrand is played in World vs. World. We'll start by covering the mechanical changes to your tome skills, then we'll cover the changes to Firebrand skills and talents, and finally we'll discuss what a Support Firebrand build and rotation might look like post-patch. We'll also talk a bit at the end of the video about why this change needed to happen, and why I think it's a great solution to the strength and overrepresentation of Firebrand in the current World vs. World meta. So, let's get into it. In the before times, Firebrand's profession mechanic consisted of tomes, each with a set number of pages. Tomes could be opened, replacing your weapon skills, and each tome skill that you used would consume a page. When all pages were used up, or you unequipped the tome, it would be placed on cooldown, during which time it could not be used again. After the November 29th patch, this changes. Pages are now shared across all of your tomes and replenish over time. Your tomes themselves do not have a cooldown. They can be equipped and unequipped anytime you want. Different skills in tome now have different page costs and generally longer cooldowns. Because of these changes to the profession mechanic, many traits are also getting reworked, since they no longer make sense with the new way that tomes function. Previously, Swift Scholar would grant quickness when opening or stowing a tome, but now that tomes don't have a cooldown, this would be a truly broken source of quickness. So Swift Scholar is being changed to only provide quickness when opening a tome, and will also now refund one page when using 3 skills from the same tome. Stoic Demeanor has also been reworked. Previously, it would inflict burning and slow on disabled, immobilized, or slowed foes. Now it will allow you to retain your Tome of Courage passive, the one that gives you free Aegis, and also grant might and resistance to allies whenever you disable, immobilize, or slow an enemy. Firebrand has access to 2 disables in its weapon skills, Shield 5 and Staff 5, and then it also has a pull in Tome of Justice, your skill 3. So there's a few ways to trigger this ability if you decide that might and resistance are boons that you want to give your party. And Lore Master, which used to retain tome passives and reduce tome recharge, will now improve the recharge rate of your individual pages, from 8 seconds per page to 6 seconds. I'll preface this by saying that this is speculation. I haven't played the new Firebrand yet, but I think that post-patch Firebrand will use Liberator's Vow, giving quickness on your heal, Stalwart Speed, which gives quickness on Aegis or stability application, and Lore Master to reduce the page regen cooldown. That's Firebrand 223, so the same as it is now, but with traits that do different things. The Firebrand rotation will likely be to enter Tome of Courage when you need the stability, such as before a push, cast Courage 4 and 5, cover these boons off with quickness and Aegis from your heal mantra, and then drop Courage immediately afterwards and return to your weapon skills. Lore Master will allow you to do this rotation once every 30 seconds with a 6 second per page regen, and that's pretty much all you'll do with your tome. With 5 pages, you don't have a lot of flexibility to do anything else, like use pages in Resolve for cleanses or a healing boost, or drop additional crowd control with Justice skill 3. Just Courage 4, 5, heal, drop your Courage, and go back to your weapon skills for 30 seconds. Now, I also think 8 pages has gotten better. Do I think it's better than Liberator's Vow as your best source of personal quickness? Almost certainly not. But let's talk about 8 pages anyway, because I think it's interesting. Using 8 pages instead of 5 allows you to do other things with your tomes, rather than this prescribed Courage 4-5 every 30 seconds rotation. First of all, in Courage, it allows you to use 4-5 and then 1 to get a free refunded page from Swift Scholar. 1 no longer gives stability, but it does give protection, and it's an extra cover boon to pile on top of your stability and resistance to make them more difficult to remove. This leaves you with 3 pages that you can go and spend on extra condition clears in Resolve, or a pull in Justice, or a taunt or a dome if you want to stay in Courage. And again, that's probably not better than having on-demand quickness on your heal, but it does make you a lot more flexible as a Firebrand, and it gives you more ability to help your party with other issues that might arise in a fight. If you just wanted to know how things are going to change on November 29th, that's pretty much it. You can go. There's nothing left here for you. Thanks for coming by. Everyone else, let's talk a bit about why I think this is a positive change for Support Firebrand, despite it being a pretty substantial nerf to its overall kit. See, Arena has themselves in a difficult place with the stability boon in World vs. World. Playing without stability is not a fun experience, and you've probably felt it yourself if you've ever been in a party with no Firebrand, or a Firebrand who's not very good. So you can't just nerf stability to make Firebrand more balanced, because there's not a lot of other classes that provide enough stability to replace it. But even if you did have a class that could provide that much stability, like Chronomancer's recently buffed Mantra of Concentration is looking like it might be able to do, you'd still use Firebrand, because the rest of Firebrand's kit is extremely strong. It's not just stability, it's also quickness, it's also resistance, it's might, condition clears, healing, a res utility, a group stun break, Aegis. Firebrand does a lot, and there's no other class that currently comes close to the amount of utility that Firebrand has. So if you're Roy and CMC and the rest of the ArenaNet balance team, there's one of two things that you can do. You can either buff another class up to the level of Firebrand, which gives some class diversity, but probably isn't healthy for the game mode, because Firebrand is already pretty strong. Or you could nerf Firebrand's kit, without nerfing Firebrand's stability too badly. And I think that's what this patch is designed to accomplish. Firebrands are losing one of their main sources of resistance in Courage, with cooldown on a Stalwart Stand going from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. They're also losing the ability to utilize pages from Justice and Resolve at the same rate as Courage, whereas it used to be that you'd use up Courage and then you'd hop into Resolve if your party got loaded up with Condis and was taking damage. You can't do that anymore. You don't have the pages. You can get the burst clear from opening Resolve, and that's about it. And you have a little bit of ability to still do this if you run 8 pages instead of 5, but that comes at the cost of one of your best sources of personal on-demand quickness by attaching it to your heal skill. That said, I think these changes are going to make Support Firebrand both easier to play, as well as more interesting to play. Two of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're playing Firebrand are first, camping Courage and Resolve, waiting for that perfect moment to cast your Tome skills, and second, blowing through pages in Courage and Resolve too quickly, and not metering out the boons that you have available in those tomes. It's a lot harder for either of those things to happen with this new iteration of Firebrand. And because these changes reduce the amount of time you'll be using your tomes overall, they give Firebrand weapon skills more time to shine, which are very powerful in their own right. Good Firebrands already did this, of course, but it's now more important for the specialization overall to make good use of your weapon skills in between your tome skills. Anyway, that's all I've got. I'm excited about this change, and to see what other reworks ArenaNet have planned for balancing the game mode and balancing other professions that are either overused or underused in the current meta. It's been refreshing to get some regular balance changes that are shaking that meta up a bit, and I'm hopeful that it will continue with this current balance team. If you liked this video, leave a like and a comment to let me know, and if you didn't like the video, leave a dislike and a comment to let me know. It's a bit of a departure from our usual format, but if there's interest in these kinds of topics, it's definitely something that I could do more often. And if you'd like to watch me play the new Firebrand live, you can check me out over on Twitch, or at the new VoDs channel, Sheffplaysgames_VoDs. But until then, I've been Sheff, and enjoy the rest of your day.